everyone. In today's video we are going to discuss about draft environment impact notification 2020. This is one of the most important topic in EIA. So in general terms, what does draft mean is whenever we are going to propose a project or whenever we are going to start anything, first we will have a detailed description of what we are going to do. So that is called as draft. So in that draft we will maintain all the requirements and how are we going to complete the project, how we start that project and what all we need to do that project. So all those details will be included in the draft. So in before we don't have a draft kind of thing for the project. So what happened is the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MOEF and CC. This is one of the important term. So Government of India on March 23rd, 2020 recommended. That means they have passed a statement or they have passed a bill that for every project we need a draft which consists of all the impacts on the environment and about a particular project. Actually, there was a existing notification related to this in 2006 that was implemented in 2006, but again after many changes and after many requests from the committee members or from the individuals, they have again recommended a new draft in the year 2020. So the central government has emphasized the need for new draft. So why did they wanted this new draft which is having already 2006? So why? Because once the notification which was released on 2006, it has undergone several modifications and several memorandums. That means whenever the draft was passed to the committee members, what they have did is every individual gave their few more inputs and few more changes to the existing draft notification. So that is why they wanted to get a new draft such that all these changes will be reflected in the new draft, just to avoid confusion, because since 55 times it has changed since 2006. Every committee members and every project stakeholders, all of them were confused, like which is the present draft which we have to follow. There are several versions, 55 times, in the sense 55 versions are released. So they don't know which version is the correct version and the updated version. That is why they wanted to get the new draft instead of these 55 versions. So what happened is the main purpose of this draft is to include all progressive amendments in the 2006 notification. In 2006 notification, there wasn't included all the properties and all the important and progressive amendments. So they wanted to include in this new draft. That is why this draft is designed. And now let's see the major proposal of the draft of 2020. What are the main points that are included in the present 2020 draft is, first one is categorization of the projects. As we discussed earlier, we have different kinds of projects like short term, long term. So we have many projects based on the type of project and the time it is taken and the requirements that we need to fulfill. So based on all these, they have categorized the projects in terms A, B1 and B2. So actually it's A and B, and again it's B is again divided to B1 and B2. So category A projects means those should be appraised, they should be approved at national level by the Impact Assessment Agency, IAA. This is also one of the most important term, and the Experimental Appraisal Committee, EAC. So that means whatever a project which comes under project A, that must be approved by this IAA and EAC. And category B projects means just as we discussed, B is divided into B1 and B2. So B1 is mandatorily requiring EAA. That means if a project is said to be category B1, then it must require EAA. If it is B2, then it doesn't require EAA. We can go for EIA as well, but that is not compulsory in case of B2. So the projects in category B2 include irrigation projects between 2000 to 10,000 hectares. That means it's a very small project. So for this kind of projects, we don't need any EIA. Oh, and these kind of projects does not see here irrigation project that does not cause any pollution to the environment. So such kind of projects are not needed for EIA. So that is what this categorization of the projects means. And reduce the time period to stakeholders for public hearing. So whenever a project is going to design, or whenever a project is coming like for to implement, then what happens is the foremost thing what will happen is all stakeholders will have a public hearing session. That means if for example if a project is being settled at one place here, and all the related areas people will be joined to this session. They'll in this session all the stakeholders will explain their inputs about the project. So once the inputs are given to all the individuals, that means people or public will then raise their questions to the stakeholders, like if this project like if this project is implemented successfully, then what are the disadvantages we get, then what are the advantages we get, if there are any disadvantages, and they'll ask for alternate solutions. We don't want to approve this project, or we don't want to start this project here, like that. So they'll give their suggestions and they'll give their inputs to the stakeholders, and then the stakeholders will explain their queries. So this happens for 30 days. That means uh, they won't have the sessions on like 30 days from the start of project. For example, today this project has been approved by the committee. So from the date of today to 30 days, 30 days they can conduct any one day or 2 days. That is the project stakeholders wish. So in between these time interval only they have to conduct public hearing session. Now in the new draft, they have reduced this 30 days time period to only 20 days. In 2006 draft it was 30 days, and now in 2020 draft it is only 20 days. Next, post clearance compliance. So what does this mean is, for every project, no matter that project is on hold or it is ongoing, it is already completed, it should follow the rules of the EIA, which is EIA report. So EIA report is nothing but again draft 2. So why they have to follow the rules? Because such that they'll avoid harm to the environment, they will not any cause severe damage to the environment. And let's see next one, submission of annual report. So annual report is nothing but whenever a project is completed successfully. Okay, for every project, no matter what kind of project it is, they have to submit a report annually, in the sense for 1 year instead of 6 months. 6 months, sorry. In 2006 it was like for every 6 months you have to submit a report, annual report. That means this annual report consists of how they started the project, and what all inputs they have taken from the public, and what all inputs they have invited, and the budget. uh, so all those things, budget and requirements, and what are the resources they have used, and what are the consequences they have faced. So everything should be mentioned very detailedly in this annual report. And in 2006 it was to submit for every 6 months. That means for every 6 months, no matter if you even complete your project also, you have to submit the annual report. Because even though you have completed the project, still its consequences and its impacts will be on the environment, right? So they have to submit the annual report. In 2006 they have submitted for every 6 months. In 2020 they have changed it to 1 year. Okay. Next, post facto clearance. For example, any project they have started without any approval. In real cases that should not be done. For example, if any person like started a project without any approval or without any EIA clearance, after implementation, that means after the process has started, also they can request for the EIA clearance. That means before completion of the project only they have to get the clearance. Next, penalty for firms. Firms are nothing but small industries. uh, Whoever project, like whatever the industries, whoever the industry, whatever the industry is violating the conditions and terms of this environment. That means if they are causing any harm to the environment, then those industries or firms should pay penalty to the government. So here government can be environment committee team, or just as we discussed before, ministry. And so based on the type of situation and based on the consequences they are causing to the environment, they have to pay the penalty. Thank you.